Hello everybody, and welcome to a brand new Stranded Alien Dawn live stream. My name is Jens. I'm part of the community team here at Frontier, and I'm going to be your host for the next period of time in which we sit down and chat about Stranded Alien Dawn right here on Twitch and on YouTube. I shouldn't be muted, hopefully. Someone did say I was muted, but I'm not, I think. Should be okay. But yeah, hi. Welcome back to the live streams. Happy New Year, survivors. Hope you're doing well out there wherever you are in the world. It's great to see so many amazing people out in the chat. And if the stream's a little quiet, I can always just bump up my microphone a little bit. So yeah, please let me know if sounds okay, and I'll adjust on the fly if I need to. As I said before, my name is Jens. I'm part of the community team here at Frontier, and I'm going to be your host. And let's, before we go any further in the stream here, let's have a quick look at the chat to see if we can find some familiar people. Heather G is here, of course, as always, as is Osric from the mod team. Old Man Garris is here. Slopey77, shout out to you. Crispy Tater Tots here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Lydia from the community team, of course. We've got Video North. We've got, let's see who else we've got here. We have, there was another game, so I missed them. Yes, we have Ams, Noble Irish. John is here. There's many, many amazing, cool people. Shout outs to the Kazakh from my own home country of Norway. Please bump up microphone. I've done so. It's in the yellows now, so it should be okay. Cybercat is here as well. Hello, Cybercat. Long time no see. Today, we're here to, it's exciting times. We're here to talk about the Tame and Train update for Stranded Alien Dawn. This is the second early access update coming to Stranded Alien Dawn, and it was not unleashed upon the world. It was announced upon the world just yesterday and releasing on the 24th of January, which means there's only 6 days to go for this free update to come out for Stranded Alien Dawn. Out now in early access. And if you're joining us for the very first time, you might be asking, what is Stranded Alien Dawn? Well, it is a planet survival sim in which you manage a group of survivors who have recently crash landed on an unknown planet. And I know there's a bunch of people who have been playing it in the chat already. And if you're just joining the community for the very first time, then feel free to give all of our social channels a follow and join us over on the Discord, where you will find the rest of the incredible Stranded Alien Dawn community. You might also find me there now and again. So what are we going to do today? We're going to talk about the Tame and Train update, of course. We're going to talk about animal taming. We're going to talk about what you get from animal taming. We're going to show you guys some dogs, because we're adding dogs to the game. That's so cool. And I'm luckily not going to do any of this alone. I'm right now, in fact, joined by some lovely people from the developers at Haemimont Games. Say hello, everyone, to Callie and Bisser. Hello, hello, hello.
Hey, everyone.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing? How's it going?
Well, we are extremely happy to be here and to announce the new update and to see how people will react with the new content.
Yeah, people are very, very excited. Am says they're very excited. Jazzlego is saying they're looking forward to it. Lydia just shouted doggos in chat. So there are a lot of people very much looking forward to this. And you're wearing some spiffy new t-shirts. I see. They look very, very good. Mine just has the logo on it. So I wish mine had like the Olfen artwork that you guys are sporting.
Yeah, ours have pets.
Yeah, yours have pets. And so will the game very, very soon as well. But for those who might not know you two, why don't you introduce yourself? We'll start with you, Bisser.
Hey guys, I'm Bisser, CEO of Haemimont Games, and I'm working as producer on Stranded Alien Dawn. And with me is Kelly.
I'm assistant producer. I'm helping Bisser with many tasks, and I'm new to the team, relatively new.
And you're both here to help me talk a bit about what's in the Tame and Train update. And when we say train, we mean animal training, not an actual train. I should just point that out. But it's been fun making like choo-choo references in our sort of internal chats while we've been planning out the sort of stuff that we need to do for this before this update comes out.
Yes, first time I saw the title, that was my straight away reaction. No, we're not adding trains to the game, not yet.
Yeah. So yeah, it is animal training, not an actual train. So yeah, you guys are here to help me talk about some of the stuff that people can expect. So I think yeah, right off the bat, sort of mainline surface level, what can people expect from the Tame and Train update?
From the Tame and Train update, people can expect the introduction of a new taming mechanic to Stranded Alien Dawn, which will allow the players to domesticate animals. We are also adding dogs to the game, as you put it out, couple of breeds out there. And there is different new ways to interact with the animals that have not been available at the initial release of the game.
And I think also, lastly but not least, there's a brand new survivor coming in as well, which players will be able to meet in a short amount of time. We're not going to be showcasing the new survivor on this stream, but we're going to be highlighting him on our social channels later this week. So be on the lookout for that. But yeah, I think we can just get right into it. I'm going to actually click this button here. And if I've set everything up correctly, which I think I have, this should just go smoothly. Yes, it did. Haha, wonderful. I love it when things work. So let's start off with talking about some of the basics here. So animal taming. What's the first thing I need to do in order to tame some of these animals that are in the game?
Yeah, we will have a new technology that you will definitely need to research prior to start taming activities, but it will be available right at the beginning. So you won't need a lot of time or a lot of preparation to start taming animals. And also there will be some other steps that you need to take care of before start taming. You will definitely need to know more for the animal. What's favorite food? You have this food around, and so on. But yeah, I think this will provide players with a lot of alternatives for resources to engage with the animals, and also some animals might be a bit tricky to tame, and you will definitely need some killed survivors.
So like you said, there's a new research option that's available right from the start, which people can see a screenshot of right here from the research bench. Once you unlock this research option, what comes with it? Is it just the training command, or is there other things that come with this as well?
Yes, of course. The training is a part of the taming activity, but you'll definitely be able to see the tame button. But prior to this, you will need to observe the animal.
Right.
So the initial observation is required.
Taming is dependent on your knowledge of the animal's favorite food.
Right.
And you can obtain that by observing the different species of animals. It's also possible that you won't have the favorite food available. This makes an organic goal for the players that want to develop into this direction. It's also possible that different animals will need different animals will need different types of food. So there is an implied goal there that may be different from playthrough to playthrough depending on the type of animals that you want to try to tame.
Yeah. I think there's also some new construction options that will unlock by completing this research.
Yes. There is the animal shelter and the animal feeder and some dedicated sleeping spots for the animals, but they will be useful after you successfully tame an animal, which is a process by itself.
Yeah, because much like the survivors themselves, the animals will also need food, and they will need shelter and warmth and places to sleep and all of that stuff in order to be happy. There's a question here. If you have a question, by the way, about the Tame and Train update, feel free to leave it in the chat, and I will ask it of the developers. There's actually a question here from Robert Tin asking if there's an option to choose the food to tame the animal. And based on what you said, it's sort of set in advance what food you need to tame a specific creature.
Yes.
So that is it. There's also a question here from Planet Becky. Can we name the dogs, or will they come with preset names?
Of course, you can name the dogs. I mean, can you imagine taming an animal and not being able to give it a name?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's very much a part of the making the game experience your own kind of thing. I think it's a very nice little touch, as it were. So, but yeah, so you mentioned you need food, obviously. You need the farming skill, I believe, of a certain level in order to tame some of these animals. And if you run up against something that's a bit more aggressive, you need something else. Is that correct?
Well, actually, for the initial taming process, you will definitely need the animal's favorite food.
Right.
But after it's tamed, it might be satisfied with different foods in the same food group.
Okay.
For the initial
Right.
taming, you will definitely have to stick with their favorite food,
Right. But
which will
then,
be
sorry, I meant more if you want to, let's say, if you have an aggressive animal and you want to tame it, you might need something else, except in
that
addition
case.
to the food, is what I meant.
Yes, in that case, you're gonna need to pacify the animal, and for that purpose, we're introducing a specific type of crossbow, which we have called the pacifier. It's available via a separate research, and it's used specifically to calm down an animal. It
And
has other uses as well in your interaction.
oh, really?
More on that later.
Okay, we will get into that later then. A question here from Ams asking, will only specific survivors have the animal taming skill, or will it be like other skills where they can improve over time?
Animal taming skill, yeah, the animal taming ability is dependent on the farming skill. So anybody who has interest in farming has the potential to become a good tamer.
And so there are already several survivors who have the potential of being very good tamers because they have a very high farming skill, which is pretty good. But yeah, right here we see someone trying to tame. I'm unsure of the name of this creature itself, so I'm going to defer to you over at Haemimont because you know this game better than I do.
this is a scissorhead.
That is the scissorhead, yes. And so Scanix did ask, can you tame aggressive animals like shriekers? Potentially. It's up to, I mean, you'll have to give it a try. There are some...
You can certainly try, yes.
Yes, you can definitely try. And there are some animals that are more easily tameable than others, obviously. So give it a try and see if you're able is basically what we suggest trying to do. So when this is done, when you have tamed an animal, you can, what then? What do you use these animals? What do you use these animals for?
Well, there are a lot of different options. For example, some animals might be useful for combat if you are actually able to train them, and some might actually be useful for resources.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, and even if you are in a situation that you don't have enough food, some can be even a food resource.
Yes, because there is a sort of breeding mechanic involved in this as well.
Of course. And by interacting with the animals, it's also possible to form a bond between them and the survivors and them as favorite pet with a unique bond to a single survivor, which will have effect both on the survivor's happiness and on the animal's happiness. Once tamed, the animals they do have their own needs, including happiness, which the player will have to tend to if he wants to keep them if he wants to keep them around.
Right. So if you don't feed your animal, on a regular basis, what will then happen? Will they become untamed and start attacking, or?
Well, they will definitely start being aggressive for
Right.
sure and start looking for food around. So yeah, you have to be prepared for cases like that, or just keep them fed.
Yeah. So like if you have a flock of Ulfen, for example, and you haven't fed them in a while, they might start to go after your crops, for example.
Oh yes.
Okay.
They will
So
start going
Oh
for
yes,
food.
yeah,
absolutely.
the
You need to keep them fed, and you need to look for ways to keep them happy as well. And if you have animals that are of different sexes, and they've been together long enough, and they've been happy, you might even get an offspring,
that's
and you can breed them.
that's
And
great.
for the more aggressive ones, if you train them, they'll be more useful as allies in combat. But then you have to be really careful to keep them well fed. Otherwise, they might turn into a problem in the heart of your base later on.
For
Yeah,
sure.
you might reach a point where you have to be careful if you have enough food for the survivors or enough food for the pets.
Or you might, like, I don't know, feed the survivors with the pets or feed the pets with the survivors. It's all the player's choice.
Yeah. So if there's a survivor you just don't like, then maybe give them give them to the
Can
pet,
we
as it
put
were.
like a 18 plus sign on the stream or something?
Not right now, but maybe later. There was a question in the chat actually asking if you can be injured or if taming can fail, and this is what you see on the screenshot right here. This is a failed taming in which Lara is being chased by the animal that she attempted to tame earlier. So
Yes.
it is absolutely possible to fail at the taming activity.
Uh, Gujos are definitely attractive, but they're also dangerous.
Yes, but
Yeah, they're carnivores.
and I'm sure things for something like an Ulfen, for example, putting them together and then breeding them will let you have, that's another food source that you have available to you. But obviously, as you said, you'll have to feed that animal in order to keep that food source active and alive. So I think it's a really neat little mechanic, and it adds more to the game, adds more purpose, adds more things that you need to take care of because. Much like with adding more survivors to your camp, adding an animal to your camp would also be a strain on your resources, as it were. All right, so I guess we can touch on some of these new resources that you mentioned earlier, because I think we've talked about this a little bit in the announcement, where some animals can give you manure and some animals can give you feathers, which can then be turned into items. Are there any other resources that you can reveal here that some of these animals can generate for you?
I don't think we're going to review any other resources at this time,
Okay.
but yes, the tamed animals can also produce resources that can be used for different purposes in uh, um, in your base. And also, there is different ways to go about feeding the animals as well.
Okay, and in what way? How so?
Well, there is uh, the once the animals are tamed with their favorite food type, they will start accepting the general food group that they usually accept. And there is also another resource that we're adding to the game that is serving specifically this purpose. Um, and it will give the ability of the player to use uh, his different types of raw foods to produce something that's specifically useful for animals.
Okay, cool. That sounds interesting. Well, obviously, we'll let the players out there discover that on their own, because we have to. Also, we're going to be streaming some more next week where we showcase some more Tame and Train stuff. But we have to keep some things a little bit close to the chest, as it were, at the beginning here. So yeah, obviously you need to care for these animals. They need food. They need sleep. You mentioned a survivor bond earlier. How does this work exactly? Is it specifically for happiness and improving that?
Well, it's more likely if the animal is visiting often the animal, and if it's training, it's related to a certain survivor. There is a chance that this animal belongs to this particular survivor. But there are different bonding chances depending on the species, and not all species like can be pet, or like the survivor cannot interact with all of them. So, or at least the same way. But it's interesting because you will see that the animals have pretty much the same happiness factors as the survivor.
Okay.
So yeah, they will also get those bonuses when someone has visited them and so. But yes, the player should explore the options for different species, and if he's able to train them and so on.
And as you can see in the screenshot here on the screen, it says bonded with Davinia. Davinia being the animal to the left here, that gives a boost to survivor happiness. And yeah, like you said, so making the survivors happy with the animals also make the animals happy with the survivors. And happy animals lead to potentially breeding and all of that stuff. And there's also playing that you can do with your animals. I think especially with I think there's a here with one of the dogs that we are introducing, which I think it's a very, very cute little thing that you can do together with these animals. You can also pet them, because this wouldn't be what's the point of adding dogs if you can't pet the dogs, so you can rename them, you can pet them, and your survivors can form a bond with them, which I think is just very cute and adorable. So I love the fact that you added in this little extra touch for this. There's a comment here from the chat from Crispy Tater Dot saying, "Thank goodness," when I mentioned that you could pet the dogs.
Of course, it was only natural. We have a lot of dog lovers in the studio, and there was no other way around that. Absolutely, there was no question from that we thought of adding dogs to the game.
I'm hoping, because I think there's going to be a tweet going out later that says yes, your survivors can pet the dog. So I hope we get featured on the Twitter account that says, "Can you pet the dog?" in the video game thing, because I love looking at that account to see which video games have dog petting as a mechanic. So yeah, we're adding in 3 different breeds of dogs, I believe. Which oh, did I not have? Where are those screenshots? They are not here. Interesting. Let me just see if I can add those in. But we're adding in 3 different breeds of dogs, I believe, based on real life dog breeds. Is that correct? Oh, did I lose you?
Yes, for a second.
Sorry. Yeah, I said that there are 3 types of dog breeds in this update, and they are based on real life breeds of dogs. And I said, is that correct?
Yes, we are adding a couple of live breeds. We're adding greyhounds, boxers, and
Weimaraners. I'm not sure how it's pronounced.
we just think that when people are experiencing spaceship crashes and running to save themselves, there will inevitably be people that are running to save their pets as well.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. And let's see if I can maybe... Yes, there we go. We have dog screenshots. Wonderful. Oh, wait. Hold on. There. I did it correctly. Dog screenshots. There you go. So yeah, based on 3 different real life dogs. And honestly, I'm not going to spoil how they're sort of included in the game. I just love the description of once you've observed the dogs, and there's a whole description of how they ended up on the planet that you are. I just thought that was an excellent way of explaining how sort of Earth beings came to be on this alien planet. So kudos to that as well. Question here from True Queen Emma B. How many dogs can we have in the game? I think we see about 5 right here. These might have been placed there a bit with using some cheats, but I think you can have a fair bit, right?
The right question is, how many dogs can you feed in a game?
And
very,
how many
very
dogs
good.
you can find, because they're not going to be that common in comparison to the natural fauna of the planet.
Okay, interesting. I think I booted the game up the other day with the new build, and I think I saw 3 dogs not very far away from my camp. And I think they might have been the only dogs that I found at the time. But obviously, maybe you can find some later on. Or you can try to breed them, and then you have
Yeah.
more dogs.
Also, you should be on the lookout for such possibilities because, as you know, the game is dynamic and the animals interact between themselves, and they might happen to not survive for quite long, unfortunately. So there is definitely opportu- sorry,
Nope.
opportunities that the player should be looking out for.
Absolutely, yeah. Let's see. There's a question here from Scanix. If a animal dies during an attack or an encounter, would you be able to bury it in a grave like a dead survivor?
We need to double check this.
But I,
We are like tending to the animals, so
sure.
carefully that.
There have been some discussions there, but yeah, there's still things going on.
Okay. I did notice when I was playing that I think the death of a tamed animal that you've bonded with will have some impact on happiness. So just be aware of that if you, like this group here, decide to take your dogs with you on like a hunting or sort of on an attacking expedition, because some of these can be used in combat as well. Is that limited just to animals that have a combat stat, or is it for all the different animals?
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Oh, yeah, no worries. There might be. So I was asking if, because you mentioned before that some animals can help you out in combat and defense and things. Is that for just animals with a combat stat, or is it for all kinds of animals that you can tame?
Yes, it's for sorry, it's for the animals with combat stats.
Okay. All right, there's a follow-up question here from Nerolia. Talking about food, how challenging will it be to supply your tamed animals?
The balancing is still a work in progress. We definitely want to make this a challenge for the players, but we do not want to make it impossible. Basically, the whole effort should be something that the player will need to consider as he pivots towards this. This makes the taming meaningful. It's not something that will be just a breeze for the player, but we definitely don't want to make it hard next to impossible.
Obviously, unless maybe you're on the insane difficulty, then all bets are kind of off.
There are survivors like that out there, yes.
Yeah, I gotta say, there have been a couple of players who have made it all the way through insane mode with the Chaos Moon as well. And to those people, I applaud you because
Kudos, yes.
the two people on this call were not able to do that. I've been told, or at least the devs at Haemimont have not been able to do that. So, way to go, I would say. There's also a new survivor coming with this update, as we said before. We're not going to tell you too much about him, but we should obviously mention that he has a strong affinity with animals, because at least the idea for both the previous update and this update is to add a new survivor that has some sort of connection with the theme of the update. Because last time it was Dunes and Moons, we added the Desertum biome, and of course the new survivor was a person used to living in the desert, and this time around it's a person who is used to being around animals. And some of you may have already caught his name in some of our marketing around this update. But I think you're gonna like him. I do, at least. He's very good. Let's see if there are any other questions from the chat. Nerolia says, "Please show us Hugo." Not yet. You'll have to wait. You may have seen him a little bit earlier in this stream. So just be maybe you can go back and find him later. Let's see if I can find. There was a different question here as well. Another one here from Scanix. If you've successfully tamed a smaller aggressive animal, like they mentioned, obviously a shrieker hatchling, is there a way to grow that hatchling into a fully grown shrieker or even a brood mother?
We're losing you.
Oh, sorry, my bad. The question was if you are able to tame something like a shrieker hatchling, if you're able to then grow that into a full shrieker or maybe potentially a brood mother as well.
I don't know if you can hear us.
No, I can.
Uh, okay, great. But the type of the animals that is tamed is kept as it is. So you need to tame a shrieker brood mother to have a tamed shrieker brood mother.
Yeah. So that is nuts, says Nerolia. So that is something you can try, but you may need a lot of pacifiers, and you may need a
See,
survivor with a very high farming skill.
as you just mentioned, I haven't personally survived on the insane level with the Chaos Moon, but there are some on the team that have done so, and I'm pretty sure that there will be some players that will successfully tame a Shrieker Broodmother as well.
If there's one thing I've learned is that I will never underestimate what the players are able to do, because a lot of you are very, very good at playing this game. I have to say that. But yeah, unless there are any other questions coming in from the chat here, I'm gonna maybe say that we can call this a stream, because I think there's a few more things that we have to reveal, which will be happening over on our social channels. And then next week, we will be doing a big old live stream with live gameplay the day before Tame and Train update comes out. So that's Monday for the next Stranded Alien Dawn live stream. Before we sign you off, Mr. and Kali, is there anything you'd like to add for the audience at home before we let you go?
Well, first of all, thanks for everyone that's been on the stream and asking questions. We have a very tense week ahead of us.
Oh, yes.
While we'll still be nailing down some last details and probably making the whole balance upside down. So take any answer to your questions today with a bit of a salt. Probably everything is going to change from now till release. Obviously, I'm kidding, but we still have some fine touches to go through.
As is the nature of game development, obviously. But this has been a lot of fun. It's been great chatting with both of you, and thank you so much for giving us your insights into the new update. So I'm gonna click this button and let you go. So I'm gonna say bye bye to Bister and Callie, and thank you so much for joining me. And as I do this quick wrap up here, so we're gonna be streaming again next week to showcase live what the Tame and Train update is going to look like. That's going to happen from 3:30 GMT. And I'm losing my train of thought. I'm going to catch up to it again. So, but yeah, that's going to happen at 3:30 GMT. Do not miss it. And we will most likely have some people from Haemimont back for that stream. And please keep following our social channels to make sure that you never miss any updates. And also join our Discord. There should be some links over in the chats, both on Twitch and on YouTube. And finally, today is the last day of the amazing Stranded Alien Dawn giveaway, where we're giving away a really, really cool gaming laptop that you can win, along with some stuff from HyperX. So if our intrepid mods can please drop the links to that in the chat as well, that will be very, very helpful. So if you haven't joined that giveaway yet, please feel free to do so, because you have one more day before that ends. It's a really cool laptop, so it's a really cool giveaway to enter. But that's going to do it for this live stream. This was a bit of a shorter one, but we're going to do a longer one next week. That's next Monday at 3:30 p.m. GMT. And I think that's going to be it from me. I have been Jens, part of the community team here at Frontier. And next Tuesday is the release of the Tame and Train update for Stranded Alien Dawn. I will see you next time. Bye-bye, everyone.